you very much indeed. Hello, I'm Alexander Armstrong, and a very warm welcome to this theatrical edition of Pointless Celebrities, the quiz where the more obscure your knowledge, the better your chances of winning. Let's meet today's Pointless Celebrities. And couple number one.
I'm Rufus Hound, and I'm here for a DNA test to prove Gary Wilmot is my real dad.
I'm Gary Wilmot.
And couple number two.
Hello, I'm Louise Dearman, and I'm a musical theatre actress and singer.
My name is Wayne Sleep, and I used to be the ballet company, but I went commercial.
Couple number three.
Hello, I'm Annette Badland, and I'm an actress, apparently.
And I'm Neil Dudgeon, and I'm an actor.
And finally, couple number four.
I'm Anita Harris, and I've had many a good old day with my wonderful Roy Hudd next to me.
There you are. And I'm Roy Hudd, spinster of this parish.
Thank you very much, all of you. A very, very warm welcome to Pointless. It's wonderful to have you with us. We'll get a chance to chat a lot more throughout the show as it goes along. So that just leaves one more person for me to introduce. Darling, he once said to me, break a leg, darling. It's not the nicest thing to say to someone on a skiing trip. It's my pointless friend. It's Richard.
Hiya. Hey, everybody. Good evening. Good evening to you.
Good evening.
This is quite a lineup, isn't it?
It is.
It's the first show we've ever done where there'll be an interval of 15 minutes. So if you pre-order your drinks now...
Maybe run to 2 intervals, you know?
Yes, I would have thought. Yeah. So now, Gary Wilmot has a little bit of history with us in that he got through to a final on his previous appearance. So he's a pretty good player. And also he's teamed up with Rufus Hound.
Yeah.
And he's got that quizzer look in his eye, Rufus Hound, you know what I mean? That silent assassin look. But they're going to be tough to beat, aren't they?
I think they might be.
Yeah.
I think they might be. It's going to be close, though, I think.
I think it might be.
Thank you very much, Richard. Now, today is a celebrity show, and because it's a celebrity show, and each of our celebrities is playing for a nominated charity, we're going to start off with a bumper jackpot of £2,500. There's it. Right, if everyone's ready, let's play Pointless. Now, all you have to remember is this. The pair with the highest score at the end of each round will be eliminated. So keep your scores as low as you dare, OK? Very, very best of luck to all 4 pairs. No conferring, of course, until we get to the head-to-head round. Our first category this evening is shared names. Can you all decide in your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second? And whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. OK. And the question concerns London Underground stations that share words with UK Top 40 singles.
Oh, my God, you know that.
Richard.
Yeah, I promise you this is less complicated than it sounds. We're going to show you a list of 7 on each board of a London tube station and a UK Top 40 single. Now, the last word of the London tube station is also the first word of that Top 40 single, and we've missed that word out. Can you tell us what it is, please?
This is going to be fun, isn't it? OK, so we are looking for the underground station that supplies the missing word to each of these top 40 singles. Here is our first board of 7. And it reads like this. 7 blank are doing it for themselves, Eurythmics and Aretha Franklin. Park blank event, Russ Conway. Oxford blank games, The Skids. Covent blank party, Marillion. Mill Hill blank West, Herman's Hermits. Golders blank door, Shakin' Stevens. And Bow blank of the Poison Mind, Culture Club. OK, I will quickly read those again. 7 blank are doing it for themselves, Eurythmics and Aretha Franklin. Park blank event, Russ Conway. Oxford blank games, The Skids. Covent blank party, Marillion. Mill Hill blank West, Herman's Hermits. Golders blank door, Shakin' Stevens. And Bow blank of the Poison Mind, Culture Club. There we go. Now then, Gary, welcome to Pointless. Fabulous to have you with us again, Gary. You, I noticed, do a great many touring shows.
Yes.
You do a lot of theatre tours. Is that just because that's the way it goes, or do you have a particular love of being on the road?
No, well, I'm not very good, so I have to keep moving.
Right.
That's the thing. But no, yes, I've done a lot of touring, and I've done quite a bit of West End as well, so so it mixes up a little bit, but I'm kind of taking a bit of a sideways. I'm actually written a play and directing it down in the Alexander Theatre in Bognor Regis, so I'm very excited about that.
Very good indeed. And then you'll be touring it, of course.
Well, yeah, then I'll be back on the road touring
Yeah, back
again.
on the road. Do you have your sort of favourite digs that you always go to in particular
Do
places?
you know, I'm one of
or-
those actors that doesn't. I don't know why, but every time I go to a new city, or a city I've been to 1,000 times before, I'm always looking for new digs, and I don't know why. I've never really made that digs list.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. There you go. Now, Gary, this is a nice board, I think, isn't it?
Well, it kind of is. My station's on the Northern Line. I don't think any of those are on the Northern Line. So I think I'll have to go Park Royal.
OK,
event.
Park Royal event. Park Royal event, Russ Conway. Let's see if that's right. Let's see how many of our 100 people went for Royal. It is Royal. It's a good answer. It's a very good answer. Look at that, down to 5, Gary. Strong.
Well played, yeah. Park Royal is the tube station Royal event, a number 15 hit for Russ Conway.
Thank you, Richard. Louise.
Hello.
Welcome to Pointers. You started musical theatre and singing and dancing and everything at the age of 3, I think.
Yeah.
Is that true?
That's true. I went to, it was just a hobby to begin with, obviously, at the age of 3, and got my little tutu out and went to my ballet classes, and then, yeah.
Was there ever a time in your life when you weren't destined for musical theatre?
Never. I can't do anything else, quite frankly. I'm really bad at this, for a start.
You say that. You say you are, I think, the only actor in the world to have played 2 different parts in Wicked.
Yes.
Is that true?
It's true, I think. I don't think anyone else has stolen my title yet.
No,
but,
no, I should hope not. Do you have a favourite part, looking back over your career?
Probably Miss Adelaide in Guys and Dolls.
Ah,
Yeah.
lovely. Very good indeed. Now, Louise,
OK.
time to face the music. What are you going to go for?
Well, everyone I can think of is pretty obvious, but I'm going to go with Green Door, Golder's Green Door.
Green Door, says Louise. Let's see how many of our 100 people went for Green Door. It's right. Yeah! Look at that, 84. 84 right.
That is a big score, better than 100 though. Green Door's first single I ever bought, Green Door.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I bought that and I bought Swords of a Thousand Men by
which-
Temple Tudor.
First I bought.
That's the one I say because it's a bit cooler than Green Door by Shakin' Stevens.
OK, thank you very much indeed. Annette, welcome to Pointers. Lovely to have you here. Now, you joined the RSC back in 1973. I think you must have been pretty much straight out of college.
I was. I'd worked with the Actors Company before that with Ian McKellen and played Mole in Toad of Toad Hall, which is pretty good. You know, women don't usually get to do that. And then straight into the RSC.
Straight into Audrey and As You Like It, and just straight up to Stratford. I mean, that must have been, it was Stratford stratospheric, I should have thought, actually.
It's where I'd always wanted to be. It's where I'd gone to see the plays.
Yeah.
I am a Midlander, so I'd kind of gone on my sort of to see matinees and things. So it's where I always wanted to be. And there I was straight away.
Anything you look back on and think, that was the Purple Patch, or is right now the Purple Patch?
Yeah, well, I'm with Neil in Midsummer at the moment, so...
Well, there you are.
It's fabulous.
Very good indeed. Now, let's get an answer from you on this fabulous board of missing underground stations.
I think Bow Street and Street of the Poison Mind.
Bow Street of the Poison Mine, says Annette. Let's see if it's right. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Bow Street. Oh, Annette.
Neil, I am so sorry.
I'm so sorry. That may very well not be the last incorrect answer of the round, so don't worry. But that was incorrect. It scores you 100 points.
Yeah, sorry, Annette, I'll give all the correct answers at the end of the pass.
Thank you very much, Richard. Now, Anita, welcome to Pointers.
Thank you very
Lovely
much.
to have you here. Now, you, at the age of 15, you went off to Vegas.
I know.
To
I
sort
just
of-
come back.
You were a chorus girl in Vegas, the age of 15.
I was a skater as a young kid, and it
Yeah.
took me into the world of dancing. And yes, a chorus girl at the age of 16.
How long did you stay out there?
We went for 3 months and stayed for 6 months. It was a wonderful learning curve,
I'll say.
discipline, but also to see Nevada, the nature at its best as well.
Yeah.
And to be in that atmosphere of incredible performers was a joy.
Were they
absolute
nice
joy.
to you, the other chorus girls? Sort of young
Yes,
English girl
one was
coming
Amy
to join?
MacDonald, my friend now, God bless her.
lovely.
And I was the other one.
Anita, you're the last person to have this board. Do you want to go through it and fill in all those blanks?
Whoa. Seven Sisters are doing it for themselves. Oxford Street, Covent Garden, I'm going to go for Seven Sisters are doing it for themselves.
Sisters, says Anita. Let's see how many of our 100 people said sisters. Is right. Sisters score 75. Not bad.
Oh, sorry, not a good score.
Not bad.
Well played, Seven Sisters, and sisters are doing it for themselves. Should we clear up the Bow Street mystery?
Church.
Bow Church. Church of the Poison Mind by Culture Club. 25
Helen
points
Terry.
for that. She sang on that, yeah, absolutely. It's Oxford Circus Games by the Skids. 39 points for that. Covent Garden Party. 93 points for that. There's some big scorers up there. And Mill Hill...
East.
It is East. East-West, and that would have scored you 9 points. So Royal, Gary Wilmot, the best answer on that board by a mile. Well played.
Yeah, well, there we are. Well, we're halfway through the round. Let's take a quick look at those scores. 5, well done, Gary and Rufus. Then up to 75, quite a jump, where we find Anita and Roy. Then up to 84, where we find Louise and Wayne. And then 100, Annette and Neil. You're not that far ahead of everyone else, though. That's quite nice. But, Neil, we need a low score from you in the next pass, so good luck with that. We're going to come back down the line now. Can the second players please step up to the podium? OK, let's put 7 more London Underground stations on the board with top 40 hits alongside them. We have got Hyde Park, Blank of the Earth, Jamiroquai, Roding, Blank of Tears, Fats Domino, London, Blank over Troubled Water, Simon and Garfunkel, Clapham, Blank, People Pulp, Baker, Blank, Life, The Crusaders, Lambeth, Blank, Country Boy, The Charlatans, and Edgware, Blank, Rage, Catatonia. I'll read those again. Hyde Park, Blank of the Earth, Jamiroquai, Roding, Blank of Tears, Fats Domino, London, Blank over Troubled Water, Simon and Garfunkel, Clapham, Blank, People, Pulp, Baker, Blank, Life, The Crusaders, Lambeth, Blank, Country Boy, The Charlatans, and Edgware, Blank, Rage, Catatonia. There we are. And remember, we're looking for the missing word that is shared by both these underground stations and UK Top 40 hits. Now then, Roy.
Yes.
Roy, my goodness. You started out, Roy, as a redcoat.
Yes, I did indeed. That's where I met
Clapton.
most of these people, actually.
And Anita's still got hers on.
I'll tell you something, Andrew. This is like a family reunion for me here.
But any gathering of actors is, though, isn't it?
Well, she was my wife, was Anita, in Follies at the Albert Hall just recently, I think. Annette was my wife in the BBC Radio 4 series, Home Front. And he, Wayne, was very nearly my mother in Top Nets and
Roy, what would you like to go for on this brand new board? We need a low score from you here. You're on 75 at the moment.
Edgware Road Rage.
Road Rage, says Roy. There is your red line, Roy. If you can get below that with Road, you are through to round 2. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Road Rage. 73. 73 takes your total up to 148. You could have kept yourselves in the game there, I think, Roy.
Absolutely. Saw lots of big scores in the first round. I suspect there may be a few more. It's going to be very interesting coming down that line.
There we are. Thank you very much indeed, Richard. Now then, Neil. Welcome to Pointless.
Thank you.
You started out in Weekly Rep.
I did, yes.
Yes. We don't see Weekly Rep anymore.
Well, it's still going. I started in Frinton-on-Sea, where there is still a summer theatre.
For people coming out of drama school, you went straight off to Rep, didn't you? And you play how many different roles?
Well, I was there. I did 7 plays in 7 weeks. It was a shock. It was a shock. You're doing a show on the Monday night, and then you learn the play and rehearse the play through the week, and then you open another play the following Monday night, and it's. It's a bit quick. Quite quick. Yeah. And a bit, it's all a bit. You're a bit not over prepared for it.
I like the expression "a bit not over prepared." I think we can all use that as our motto for how we live our lives, can't we? I find myself a bit not over prepared for pretty much everything.
Like I feel now.
Yeah.
Well, listen, you have got a target now, 47 or less, Neil. 47 or less.
Well, we've got to play safe and not go on a punt that might be wrong and then end up with another 100 points. I'm going to have to go for Lambeth North.
OK, you are going to go for Lambeth North, Country Boy. Lambeth North. Here is your red line. Get below that with North, you are through to round 2. How many people said North? It's right. You've done it. Yeah. Oh, you've done it with room to spare. Look at that, 9. Neil, very well done indeed. 109 is your total. Through you go to round 2.
Very well played, Neil. Yeah, it used to be called Kennington Road Tube Station, but it's exactly that thing. You knew the first bit of it, and so you can sort of ignore the second bit and take that risk. It's exactly what you did.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. Wayne, welcome back to Pointless. Great to have you here.
Thank you.
Your career is quite extraordinary. I mean, it's had so many different high points. As you say, you started off in classical ballet, and you sort of went from being the sort of the zenith of the highbrow there over at Covent Garden, and then you sort of stepped across to the West End, and you dazzled in that arena as well.
I went from the Royal Ballet and I had leave of absence to be invited by Andrew Lloyd Webber to play Mr. Mistopheles in Cat in the first production, so I was really thrilled by that. I kept meaning to go back to the Royal Ballet, but eventually, after 10 years, they took me off the principal list. They just searched me out because I never went back. And it was wonderful.
Too much fun.
I've had a wonderful time.
You hold the record for being able to do the most something or others in the air. You can jump up and do something before you land.
They're called entrechats.
You can do a million entrechats.
No,
before...
6.
6?
Well, it's called an entrechat douze because each leg counts as one, but you from a standing position, you jump in the air, cross your legs 6 times and land.
Can you still do that, Wayne?
You're joking. I can do that, you know, a bit of it, but not now, no.
Very, very athletic. I think the set can just take that. Now, Wayne, there you are on 84. If you can possibly score 63 or less...
Well, I'm just going for an easy answer, I think, on this.
No, don't go too easy, Wayne.
Well, I'll go for London Bridge over troubled water.
OK, Bridge over troubled water, says Wayne. Let's see how many of our 100 people said that. Here is your red line. You have to get below that with Bridge. Let's see how many of our 100 people said that. Oh, I feared that might happen, Wayne. That scored you 90. It takes your total up to 174.
Yeah, unlucky. It's a big old score, but you've made Roy and Anita very happy, so that's...
Thanks very much, Richard. Rufus, welcome to Pointless. Well, you look very well, Rufus.
Thanks very much.
You're very kempt.
Well, I spent all summer being a toad. And
that would do it.
At the end of that, I just wanted to shave every part of myself and sort of take the character off and flush him away. So Gary was my badger.
Oh, that's nice.
I say my badger. I was his toad. I mean, depends how you want to see it, really.
Yeah. Because you started out in comedy. Comedy was very much your thing. The theatre thing, that perhaps, I don't know, did you go into that on a whim?
Yeah, it's tricky, isn't it? Because essentially I'm freelance.
Well, I guess, yeah, as are we all.
How I actually feel about it is there are things I would love to do, and if you get the chance to do them, then why wouldn't you?
And it's been amazing.
I love it.
Amazing. Look at those
Absolutely love
parts. Sancho Panza with the RSC.
That was the one, man.
What about that?
That was the joy. Yeah, David Threlfall as Don Quixote, and just basically standing near David Threlfall.
When you say that was the joy. You've just been working with Gary for quite a long time on something, but oh man, I tell you who's great, David Threlfall. Whoa, working with him, I'd love to do that again.
Now, Rufus, this board is all yours. Do you want to go through it and fill in all those blanks for us? I know you'll be able to do that.
Well, I'll also play my hand here slightly that I am a massive, massive fan of Pointless. So it annoys me when people are in this position, they're through to the next round and they just roll one in. So, from the top down, it's Hyde Park Corner of the Earth, I think. Clapham Common People, Baker Street, Street Life by the Crusaders. The only one I don't know is Roading Something. But because I don't know it, I'm assuming that's the only one likely to be a pointless answer. And because we're already through, I should take a punt at the one that I don't know the answer to because we're already through. Yeah. Because I love this game and it bothers me when people don't do this. I absolutely love watching the pair of you in this exact moment when people go, so I'll play it safe, and I can see you going, why? Why are you playing? That's literally the opposite of what you should be doing now.
I tell you what, I'm looking forward to this answer now.
Just to point out, though, I don't know the answer I'm about to give.
Right.
This is going to be a complete
This is
guess.
right, this is as it should be.
So, I don't know, but I will take a punt on Street of Tears. This is the wrong answer, but it might be pointless, so worth a punt.
It's worth a punt, Rufus. No red line for you, Rufus. You're through anyway. But let's find out. Is that right? How many people said Street of Tears? Oh, well done, though, Rufus. Very well done. Scores you 100 points, takes your total up to 105. Still the lowest score of the round, by the way. Very well done.
And we applaud you for taking the risk as well. Very well done.
we
I
do.
think Annette and Gary both know it, so I'll count to 3 and they can both give you the answer. 1, 2, 3.
Valley.
Rolling Valley and Valley of Tears by Fats Domino. It would have scored you 5 points if you had to do this. It is the best answer on the board. And you took us through the other ones very nicely. Hyde Park Corner. That would have scored you 47 points. Clapham Common and Common People would have scored you 51. And Baker Street and Street Life would have scored you 81.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. So we are at the end of our first round. And the pair we have to say goodbye to with their high score of 174. I'm sorry. Wayne and Louise.
Oh, mortified.
Never mind.
I'm sorry. Listen, nothing wrong with either of your answers. They were just really popular songs.
We'll
Everyone
just tap our
knew them.
troubles away.
Well, this has been lovely having you here. Thank you so much for coming to play. Come and play again. Wayne and Louise, everyone. But for the remaining 3 pairs, it's now time for round 2. And look at that, cruelly, suddenly cut down to 3 pairs. And at the end of this round, I can warn you, it's only going to get worse. We have to lose another pair. But Gary and Rufus, on the strength of that round, it isn't going to be you. Best of luck to all 3 pairs for our next round. The category for round 2 today is words. Oh, Rufus, very happy. Can you all decide in your pairs? Who's going to go first? Who's going to go second?
Well, I don't know any words.
And whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. OK, let's find out what the question is. Here it comes. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many words ending R-A-Y as they could. R-A-Y.
We are looking for any word which has its own entry in the oxforddictionaries.com British and World English section, please, that ends R-A-Y. As always, no hyphenated words, no proper nouns or anything like that. So any word ending R-A-Y. It's a tough one, this one.
It is. OK, Rufus, we are looking for words that end with the letters R-A-Y.
See, I think I've got a good one, but I don't know for a fact, and I think positionally, the right thing to do here is just get a dart on the board.
We can always, at the end of the round, ask you what you would have gone for.
All right.
Oh, but don't go for something disappointing now, though.
No, I think the word I'm going to go for is... I don't hear people use it very often, so I think it might not be the first one that jumped
maybe
into
it's my
people's
one. Maybe you've got
minds.
my one. This sometimes happens.
OK.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for affray.
You haven't got my one. Affray, says Rufus. Let's see how many of our 100 people went for affray. It's very good, by the way. It deserves to go a long way down. And it sort of does. 11, not bad, not bad, not bad. Not bad. Affray.
It's a very good start to the round, Rufus. Well played. Yeah, I once appeared with David Threlfall in Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. It was,
Thank you very much, Richard. Annette.
Betray.
Betray, says Annette. Let's see how many of our 100 people went for betray. Thirteen for betray.
yeah, another very good answer to expose someone or your country to danger treacherously. To betray.
Thank you. Now, Roy.
I'll go for array. A-R-R-A-Y.
Thank you. OK, good. Array. Oh, that's
just
array.
in case you're as ignorant as I am.
Array, says Roy. Let's see how many of our 100 people said array. It's right. Well, 13's the high score, 11 is the low. Nice and close. Ooh. All right. 23 for array.
Yeah, an impressive range of something. So if you were at a shop that sold hips, you would have a hip array.
Thank you very much, Richard. We are halfway through the round. Let's take a quick look at those scores. 11 is the lowest score of the past. Very well done indeed. Rufus and Gary once again looking rather clever at this point. Then up to 13 is where we find Annette and Neil. And then up to 23 is where we find Roy and Anita. So you're not way ahead, but Anita, a nice low-scoring answer from you wouldn't hurt. Good luck with that. We're going to come back down the line now. Can the second players please step up to the podium? OK, so Anita, remember, we are looking for words that end with the letters R-A-Y.
OK.
R-A-Y, and you're the high scorers, so yes, nice obscure word.
Stingray.
Stingray. Stingray, says Anita. Let's see how many of our 100 people went with stingray. No red line, I'm afraid, for you, as you're the high scorers currently. Oh, 40 for stingray. 63 is your total.
Yeah, it's a big score, that, isn't it? I wonder if it's because you think of a ray, you think of the fish immediately, maybe. It's a good answer, though.
It is a good answer. Thank you, Richard. Now then, Neil. You have a target of 49. 49 or less, and you're in the head-to-head.
I assume one can have the word dray, as in dray horse.
Dre, Dr. Dre, yes. Well, here is your red line. If you get below that with Dre, you are through to the next round. Let's see how many of our 100 people went for Dre. It's certainly right. Oh, and it gets you through, by the way. Look at that. Down it goes at 29. It's good enough. 42 is your total. I thought it might have gone further down there.
Well played, Neil. Yes, 71 of our 100 forgot about Dre.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. Now then, Gary. Gary, 51 or less is what you need to score here to remain with us.
I'm struggling with this one, but I'll go for it. Manta ray.
Manta ray, says Gary. Manta ray. OK, there is your red line, Gary. Manta ray is what you are going to go for. Let's see if you can get below that red line with manta ray. Is it right? How many people said manta ray? Oh, Gary, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm afraid that's an incorrect answer. Scores you 100 points, takes your total up to 111.
Sorry, Gary, that is tough luck. 2 words, manta ray, I'm afraid. Rufus, did you have a risky one you were going to go for?
I've often thought that the trick to this round is to think of a short word and then think of a prefix. So Roy had array. I've got a feeling in astronomy you can have a super array.
You're not a million miles off. You can have a micro array, which would have been a pointless answer. Super array would have been wrong. But given that you've lost anyway, that would have been the way to do it, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But no, it's exactly right. Have you got a good answer?
Misportray.
Misportray. Oh, goodness me. Misportray.
Yeah.
Is a pointless answer.
Yay!
Well done.
Oh, about time.
Very nice. Should we take a look at some more of them?
Yes.
Let's take a look at some more pointless answers. Amscray, which means to go away quickly, as a pointless answer. Auto tray, which is that sounds like an auto tray is a great idea, isn't it?
For the canteen, it'd be amazing.
Could you imagine if you're sitting at home now and you just got one of those boring old-fashioned analog trays? An auto tray would be amazing. Marais was a pointless answer. There's micro array. Miss array as well. Overspray is an interesting one, but you probably wouldn't have risked overspray. It's one of those ones, isn't it? It just means to spray beyond the area it's supposed to be spraying. 3 more here. Now, respray is a pointless answer. Lots of people would have got that. And unpray is a word. That means to rescind a request to a deity. So if you pray, it really does. If you pray and you decide, actually, that is not what I wanted.
On second thoughts.
Yeah. On second thoughts, I don't actually like him that much. Yeah. I wonder if I could ask for that back, to unpray.
Thank you very much, Richard. Well, we are at the end of our second round. We have to send one of our pairs home. This breaks my heart, Gary and Rufus. I'm so sorry.
Can I unpray now, please?
Far too soon to be sending you home. But please come back and play again. It's been lovely having you here. Rufus and Gary, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. But for our remaining 2 pairs, it is now time for our head-to-head. Congratulations, Neil and Annette, Roy and Anita. You are now 1 step closer to the final and a chance to play for our jackpot, which currently stands at £2,500. But this is the bit where we decide who goes through to the final to play for that jackpot, and we do it by making you go head-to-head. But the nice news is, from here on in, you can start playing as a pair, so you can chat before you give your answers. And in this round, the first pair to win 2 questions will be playing for that jackpot. This is going to be great. We've got Midsummer Murders versus Follies. Who is going to win in that one?
Well, all I know is someone's going to get killed. That's all I know.
Well, let's find out who. Let's play the head-to-head. here is your first question, and it concerns double acts. Richard.
I'm going to show you 5 pictures now of famous double acts, but we've combined their 2 faces into one face.
Oh.
Can you tell us who the double acts are, please?
I know a lot of two-faced people.
Thanks very much, Richard. OK, let's reveal our 5 double acts in a melange. Here they are. We have got A... B... C... D...
John Prescott.
Certainly his tie. And E.
Oh, my goodness.
Danny LaRue. Yes, I've got them all.
There we are, 5 double acts. Neil and Annette, you have been our low scorers up to this point, so you will go first.
Wow. OK, I think we've decided which one we'd like to go for.
And which one is that?
E. I think we're going to try and go for E.
And they are?
We think they're Lee and Herring.
Lee and Herring.
We
say Neil and Annette. Lee and Herring.
You think so?
Well, Roy and Anita, it's over to you. Talk us through the rest of that board.
I think...
A.
I thought that might have been Hugh Laurie and Stephen Fry.
Yes,
but-
yes.
And who's that with a funny widow's peak? D.
It's David.
Who are you going to go for?
I think C. I think C is Abbott and Costello.
You're going to go for C. Abbott and Costello is what you are going to say for C. So we have Lee and Herring from Neil and Annette for E. Let's see if that's right. Let's see how many of our 100 people spotted Lee and Herring. It is Lee and Herring. It is Lee and Herring. And look at that. Down it goes to 6. That's a fabulous answer. And Roy and Anita, meanwhile, have gone for Abbott and Costello for C. Let's see if that's right. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Abbott and Costello. It's also right. It's also going to be a low-scoring one, I think. Is Folly's going to do it? Oh, no, it's with someone who's won this, I'm afraid. Very well done indeed. Neil and Annette, after one question, you're up 1-0.
That's a terrific answer, yeah. In fact, both of those answers were the best 2 answers on the board, so well played, both teams. We will see the scores for the others. A is Fry and Laurie. Would have scored you 38 points. B is Mel and Sue. And that's the biggest score up there, 41 points. Lovely Mel and Sue.
Yes.
And D...
Mitchell and Webb.
Mitchell and Webb, yeah. David Mitchell and Robert Webb. And that would have scored you 24.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. OK, here comes your second question. Roy and Anita, you get to answer it first, but you have to win it to stay in the game, so good luck. Our second question this evening is all about music from Fantasia. Richard.
I'm going to play you 5 clips of music now, all of which feature in the film Fantasia. We're looking for the composers of these 5 pieces. We're going to give you alternate letters of their names as you listen to the clips as well. So who are the composers of these 5 pieces of music? All of the bits of music feature in Fantasia.
Thank you very much indeed. OK, let's listen to those pieces of music. Here is A. And the alternate letters of the composer are T-H-I-O-S-Y. Here is B. And the letters alternately are B-E-H-V-N. Here is C. And the alternate letters of that composer are B, C. Here is D. And the alternate letters of that composer are D, K, S. And finally, here is E. And the alternate letters of that composer are M, S, O, G, K. There we are. 5 excerpts of music from Fantasia. So then, Roy and Anita, you will go first here.
I know that's the Russian case, I think E.
Yeah.
That's close enough. Give it to him.
I think we'll wave that through.
Yeah, give it.
Yeah, I think B, Beethoven.
OK, you're going to say B, Beethoven. B, Beethoven, say Roy and Anita. Now then, Neil and Annette. Have a crack at each of them and then say which one you want to go for.
Tchaikovsky for A, Beethoven, Bach, Dukas, and Mussorgsky. And we think it's Dukas might be the lowest.
You're going to go for Dukas for D. So we have Beethoven versus Dukas. Roy and Anita said Beethoven. Let's see if that is right for B. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Beethoven.
Everyone, yes. Yeah.
Ooh, it's very much Beethoven. There we are. There we are. 95
I've
people.
always been a
got.
popular entertainer.
Now, Neil and Annette have gone for Dukas for D. Let's see if that's right. Let's see how many of our 100 people said it. Very well done indeed. That's a great answer.
Write down, write down, write down.
7. Very good indeed. 7 for Dukas. And that means Neil and Annette, after only 2 questions, you're straight through to the final 2-0.
That's terrifically done again. Both of those questions, you got the lowest possible answer you could have done. Terrific work, well done.
No, wonderful.
Let's take a look at the scores of the other ones. You gave us all of these answers. Tchaikovsky there would have scored you 52. Surprisingly low score for Bach, given what Beethoven scored, because he would have scored you 62. And E is Mussorgsky, as you say, and he would have scored you 18.
Wow.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. Very, very good indeed. Well, I'm afraid the pair leaving us at the end of the head-to-head round, Roy and Anita, it is you. But it's been a real treat having you here. Thank you so much for going to play. Come and play again anytime you like. But Roy and Anita, superb. But for Neil and Annette, it is now time for our pointless final. Very, very well done indeed, Neil and Annette. You've seen off all the competition and you've won our coveted pointless trophy. You will be leaving here with a pointless trophy each, so that is great.
Brilliant.
You know, that will be a murder weapon in Midsummer Murders within days.
And there are 2 of them, so it's going to be difficult to find out who did it.
Perfect. So we've just written an episode right here.
We have. What about that? Well, listen, you now have a chance to win our pointless jackpot for your charities. And at the end of today's show, the jackpot is standing at £2,500. There it is. Well, brilliant. Midsummer Murders won out in the end. So very, very well done. It's been a very exciting show. As always, you get to choose your category for this final round. 4 things will appear on this board. And let's hope one of those appeals to you enough for you to be able to pick it. Good luck. Let's see. We have got Kings and Queens, Strictly Come Dancing Singers, spoken prologues of TV series, and the year 1994.
Ooh. These can be quite sort of baggy titles.
I think they are baggy.
Kings and Queens are not necessarily actual Kings and Queens of England, say. They could be Kings and Queens from...
Drama, Shakespeare.
Drama, Shakespeare. Shakespeare. Oh, theatre. Theatre.
Oh, darling. It's suddenly come alive, hasn't it? Isn't that wonderful?
Alas, my Lear. Here it comes. You've got to leaning towards the kings and queens, haven't you?
I am leaning.
She's leaning. Go on. Round
Kings
call.
and queens.
Kings and queens it is, Richard.
OK, very best of luck. It's about actual kings and queens for
no.
once.
You should have stopped me.
But this is what we're looking for. Any of the following, please. Take any of your answers from any of these categories. We're looking for simply the names of any British monarch since 1707. That's not just their regnal name. It can be any name given to them at birth, including middle names. We're looking for any decade in which a monarch has died from 1000 to 2000, so any decade in which a monarch died, that monarch being a king or queen ruling over England, Great Britain or the United Kingdom, or any monarchs that were never succeeded by their offspring since 1154. Again, a monarch of England, Great Britain or the United Kingdom. So any name given to a British monarch since 1707, the decades in which a monarch died, 1000 to 2000, and monarchs never succeeded by their offspring since 1154. Best of luck.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. Now, as always, you've got up to 1 minute to come up with 3 answers, and all you need to win that jackpot for your charities is for just one of those answers to be pointless. Are you ready?
We're ready to chat.
Yeah. OK, well, let's put 60 seconds up on the clock. There they are. Your time starts now.
We don't know anything, do we?
Any of these, do we?
George
yes, I think
V.
you've sort of the likelihood of, because we're looking. I mean, the point of this is to find that nobody else will have named, isn't
Yes.
it? So the monarchs who were never succeeded by their offspring.
Elizabeth I.
Elizabeth I,
because she didn't have any.
But that's the only one I
everyone will
would
know
think
that.
of. So you think that can't be a pointless answer. She's like one of your most famous kings and queens
Yeah.
we've ever had.
Yeah.
She's
That's why we
really
know
famous.
about her.
That's why we can say her name. Decades in which a monarch died. That's quite. If you knew one, that'd be a really good one to do. Because I think that.
10 seconds left, or I need 3 answers.
Names of British monarchs since 1707. You've got your Charleses, you've got your Georges, you've got your Williams, William and Mary.
OK, that, I'm sorry to say, is your minute up. I now need your 3 answers. What are you going to give me?
Name of British monarchs since 1707. William III. Can we have William III?
William III.
Oh, this could be embarrassing if I've got this wrong. And it's Charles I, of course. 1640s?
Okay.
Do you want to go for that? 1640s?
Not really, but I
Well, you're going to get an answer from you.
only
You're
person who
kind
has
of
an
pressing
idea
me here.
Should we put that in there?
Let's go for the
William III,
1640s.
1640.
Charles
OK,
I.
let's get a
Charles
third
I.
answer.
Name of British monarchs since 1707. George III.
We don't need the regnal numbers. So
We
just
don't need the
William and
regnal
George.
numbers. So we're going to go with
George
George,
is fine.
William,
George is
and we are going to go with 1640s as our decade. Of those 3 answers you've given, which do you think is your best shot at a pointless answer?
I don't think any of them have got any chance.
I think Charles.
Charles. I can't.
OK, so we'll go for the 1640s, maybe? Should we put that last?
Yeah, go on, yeah.
OK, 1640s goes last. Least likely to be pointless? George. We put George and William in the middle. Perfect, lovely. OK. OK, well, let's put those answers up on the board in that order then, and here they are. We have got George,
these are hopeless then.
William, and the 1640s. Well, listen, very, very best of luck. Listen, there are 3 good answers on the board there. Any one of those could be pointless, and if one of them is and wins that jackpot for your charities, which charities are you playing for? Neil, you first.
I'm playing for the ITP Support Association, to whom I would like to apologise for having said those answers. But the ITP Support Association.
Very good indeed. Annette?
The Midland Langer Sever Society, who feed the homeless in the Midlands.
Very good indeed. 2 excellent charities there. 3 good answers on the board. Let's hope one of these answers wins that jackpot for your charities. Your first answer was George. This was the one you thought was probably least likely to be pointless. Only one of them has to be pointless for you to win the jackpot. Let's find out for £2,500 how many of our 100 people named George as one of the names given to a monarch since 1707. 98. It's right. I think we knew it was right. But anyway, let's see how far down the column we go with George. If it's pointless, it wins you £2,500. 46 for George. So, unfortunately, not a pointless answer. Let's move swiftly on to William, your next answer, in the same category. If this is pointless, it will win you £2,500. How many people said William? Well, again, it's right. George was absolutely right, took us down to 46. William takes us down past 46. Down it goes, still going down into the 20s, into the teens at 18. We stop. Let's move very swiftly on to your third and final answer. We were looking for decades in which a monarch died, and you have gone for the 1640s, thinking specifically of Charles I. Let's see how many of our 100 people named the 1640s. If this is pointless, it wins you £2,500 for your charities. It is the 1640s, absolutely right. Your first answer, George, took us down to 46. Your second answer, William, took us down to 18. The 1640s now past both of those. Into single figures, down we go. We're still going down, we're still going down. Oh, that is an excellent answer. I'm afraid, though, you didn't manage to find that all-important pointless answer, so I'm afraid you won't be winning today's jackpot of £2,500. However, as it is a celebrity special, all our celebrities are playing for a nominated charity. We're going to donate £500 to each celebrity pair for their respective charities. It's been lovely having you on. You have played so well. Lots of low scores across the show, and you get to take home a pointless trophy each, so very well done.
Yeah, that's absolutely as close as you can get to winning, so very well played. And you're right, 1649 was Charles I. But somebody else knew as well, unfortunately. Let's take a look at the names of British monarchs. They're none of the names that we're familiar with, all birth names and middle names. Alexandra, which is the Queen's middle name, our current Queen. Alexandrina, which is Victoria's first name. Ernest, which is one of George V's middle names. Patrick, which is Edward VIII. You could have had Andrew, Augustus, Christian, Frederick or Louis as well. All of those would have won you the money. Very well done if you said any of those at home. Now, the decades in which monarchs died, from 1000 to 2000. Henry VI died in the 1470s, James II in the 1700s, 1830s to George IV and William IV, and Edward VIII, who was no longer king at the time. He died in the 70s. You could have had the 1010s, the 1030s, the 1040s, the 1130s, the 1180s, the 1190s, the 1270s, the 1320s, the 1370s, the 1400s, the 1410s, the 1420s, the 1620s, 1680s, 1690s, 1710s, 1720s or 1760s. All of those were pointless answers. And monarchs never succeeded by their offspring. There are 5 answers here. Edward III, Henry VI, Richard II, Stephen and Richard I. Those are the pointless answers. Very well done if you got one of those at home. Been a terrific performance throughout the show and a terrific end as well. Sorry, it was just not one fewer.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard, and thank you so much, Neil and Annette. It's been wonderful having you here. Neil and Annette, brilliant.
Thank you.
Join us next time when we'll be putting more obscure knowledge to the test on Pointless. Meanwhile, it's goodbye from Richard.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.